All right, Shalom. Shalom, my praise and glory and honors go into Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash, double honors the apostles and elders of great millstone and rule and teach well. Shalom out there to the hopeful elect. It's another edition of GMS News of Prophecy. This is from the GreekCityTimes.com. And it says, if the Turkish economy collapses, banks in Europe will fall. Okay? Let me jump right into it. It says a report in German newspaper Die Welt by Holger Japitz titled Erdogan has strong allies, especially in Europe, wrote that the current Turkish economic problems may be due to itself, but they could spread to Europe and become a problem for the West. The subtitle of the article says Europe's financial institutions must fear the collapse of Turkey. Many of them are still involved in the country with billions of euros, and the West has a lot to lose. This makes sanctions more difficult and strengthens President Erdogan's authoritarian position. Effectively, due to the intimate economic relations between Western Europe, particularly Germany with Turkey, it makes it difficult for sanctions to be applied despite Turkey's constant violations and threats against European Union member states, Greece and Cyprus. And this basically, this is definitely prophecy here, pursuant to Daniel, the second chapter. Let me go ahead and get it. Let's go to Daniel, the second chapter. All right, and this is part of the fourth kingdom that Daniel saw in his vision thousands of years ago, and we're in that time now of these prophecies that are speaking in the end. So this is Daniel chapter 2. I start at verse 40. It says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. This fourth kingdom is speaking about the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire subdued all the different countries that were that were a part of the empires before it. Okay? And it was through his military might that he was able to break in pieces and bruise. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. So the countries that made up, because when you go into this vision, those of us that know about Daniel's vision, you know that there was a statue, a head of gold, upper body of silver, legs of brass, and feet of iron, and then toes mixed with iron and miry clay. That was a timeline of the different major empires and kingdoms that were to be established in the earth. The time that we are in now, pursuing to that dream, that vision, is we're in the time of the feet and toes mixed with clay and iron. Okay? So it says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. So that would be the Roman Empire at that last leg that is now divided. Okay? I've done videos showing the different articles and basically how NATO and the EU are basically divided. Okay, that's the core of the so-called white man's power structure through NATO, all right, and the EU, okay, which is the beast, which the EU goes into the 10 toes, and they're divided. Okay, they're basically coming against each other, mainly economically, and that's what we're seeing in this article here. Okay, it says if the Turkish economy collapses, banks in Europe will fall, because pursuant to the prophecy, this alliance that these different countries have in Europe, some are going to be strong and some are going to be weak. All right, I'm gonna get it. Let's see here. This is Daniel 2 and 41 again. It says, and whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. That goes into the military might. Combine these countries together, Europe and NATO, the EU and NATO, they have a strong military might together. It says, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. That's the iron part. Verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So economically, it's broken. The economics of Europe right now is broken. Okay. So now let me go back into this here. It says, at first glance, it seems that Recep Tayyip Erdogan is completely alone against the power of the markets, which do not have a good view of him and his economic policy, which long ago degraded his country to the level of garbage. That's that miry clay. When you got something that's miry and mud, that's garbage. That's the waste, right? And that's the level that his economy, its economic policy is on. But there are strong players who support it indirectly. Why they have to do it? Because they have a common destiny with them, wrote Japit. So we got partly strong, partly weak. This is Bible prophecy here. It says, these are the European banks which, even after 4 years of ongoing Turkish crisis, are still involved in Turkey with investments of billions of euros. Western financial institutions will have to fear serious depreciation if the country is to truly enter into an extensive balance of payments crisis, as Moody's recently warned, the financial expert continued. It says Turkey's economic problems may be due to itself, but they could spread to Europe and become a problem for the West. Thus, Europeans are likely to turn their attention to their own banks in view of discussions on possible sanctions against Ankara at the EU summit in late September, which in turn strengthens Erdogan's position. He explained, adding that the Turkish president does not need to fear that Europeans will cut off Turkish banks from international financial markets, as the U.S. once did with Russian banks after the annexation of Crimea. So basically, this is a tricky situation for Europe, but that's what the scripture says is going to happen with these alliances. All right, the end of this power structure of these heathen nations, okay, and these different kingdoms. All right, we're now at the time where all that's going to be broken up. Okay, so now let's see what's going to happen after this kingdom and these economies and these places fall. Verse 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron does not mix with clay. And we're seeing that now. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. That kingdom that's being set up are the Israelites you see here in America and around the world teaching on the street corners, starting with the GMS Great Millstone at the top. And then you have the other Israelite camps as well that's out there teaching, okay? But we mainly go here in GMS into the prophecies, break these scriptures down for you, you know, so you can understand, not just teach the law and other things, all right? But this is a kingdom that's being set up nonetheless. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are oppressed, but we're also being brought back up through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It says, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. So there's not going to be where the Israelites are going to get the kingdom, and then there's going to be other nations to come and fight them in war and take them over. No, that's it. All right. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So that's the future of this world. Okay. The future of this world is for these countries in Europe to fall, right, along with these other nations to fall, and for the Hebrew Israelites to come back into power. All right. But that's mainly the point, That was just a quick article I wanted to go into because, I thought about that scripture, and we're definitely in the time that the prophecy states. Okay. So with that, I'm going to end it there. Our praises, all glory, and our honors go into Yahweh Basham Yahushua, Basham Makakwadash, though honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.